on the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield. Live from the Hyatt Regency, this is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey. Brought to you by Authentic Brand. Elevate your everyday style with a premium label of choice. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. By your local Ford dealers. Hy-Vee. Score big savings with a new Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank. Proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular. Built for the Hawkeyes. Built for silencing notifications and turning up the noise. U.S. Cellular. Built for us. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Iowa basketball has 3 games left, plus the Big Ten tournament, to make a lasting impression on the NCAA selection committee. Not a lot of time, but we know the Hawkeyes enjoy the hurry-up game and the fast pace of it all. The sprint to the finish line resumes tomorrow evening at Carver Hawkeye Arena with a critical showdown where the standings are concerned, with the Penn State Nittany Lions in town, followed by a visit to Northwestern on Saturday, and then a rematch with Illinois to conclude the regular season before the trip to the Target Center in Minneapolis, where everyone has a second chance, and especially those that need one. After the fog had lifted from yesterday's action, Purdue now has a 2-game lead on Illinois, followed by Northwestern and Wisconsin at 10 wins and 6 defeats. Nebraska is 10-7, following a win over Minnesota that left the Gophers 8-8, a half game behind 9-8 Michigan State. And then comes the Hawkeyes and Penn State. They're locked at 8-9, 8 wins, 9 defeats. That's tied for 8th place in the conference. Now, that said, the Hawkeyes own the tiebreaker with the Gophers and the Spartans, making tomorrow's game all the more important. Iowa lost the first meeting with Penn State 3 weeks ago, 89-79. A game the Hawkeyes led by as many as 8 points in the second half. A game tied with 4 minutes to go when Nittany Lion point guard Ace Baldwin took over, scoring 13 points, finishing the game with 22, 6 assists, and 4 steals. Every game so critical now moving forward. Every possession so precious. Tip-off tomorrow night is 8 p.m. with pregame coverage starting at 7 o'clock. With that, we welcome you in, everybody, to Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey, live from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville's Iowa River Landing, where the newly remodeled rooms are just like home. The food and beverages are top drawer, and the wait staff and service are 5-star. I'm Gary Dolphin, happy to have my broadcast partner Bobby Hansen alongside as usual. Coach McCaffrey will be joining us shortly, and we'll visit with an Iowa player. To be specific, freshman point guard Brock Harding will stop by, and we'll talk about his first year as a major college basketball player. He and his former Moline High School teammate Owen Freeman are making such a favorable impression with the Hawkeyes this season. The Hawks and Illini were matching each other basket for basket, rebound for rebound, which is hard for the visiting team to do in the State Farm Center on Saturday down in Champaign. Both would have preferred tighter defense in the last 4 to 5 minutes, and Illinois, with all that veteran experience, got control of things with its defense, led by Coleman Hawkins. The bench outscored the Hawks 11-2 across the last 5 minutes. Illinois outpointed Iowa 20-10 and thus win by 10. Bobby Hansen, where did it get away from the Hawks as you saw it?
Well, you know, the Hawks battled, Gary. You go down there, that's a hostile environment there at State Farm Center. And it happened to fall on a day when they wanted to do an orange out. You know, we do our white out or black out, and the whole place was orange out. A little bit like Corey's wearing his orange here today. But, yeah, and the student section was into it. But you knew it was going to be tough right from the get-go with the loss that they suffered a couple of days earlier over at Penn State. They gave away a 7-point lead, I think they did, down the stretch, and 35 seconds. So you knew they were going to come out. It's going to be a hornet's nest, right? Well, the Hawks hung in there, and down by just 1 at halftime, came out and started the second half really good. The Hawks up 6. And then wholesale changes came. If you remember right, Brad Underwood put in 5 new guys with Moretti as a point guard. He hit a couple of threes. He had shot one.
Hockey line change.
Hockey line change came in. I thought the Hawks might take advantage of that and go off on a 10-0 spurt or nothing, but it was even at that point. And then it got to 75 apiece at the 5:53 mark, and then it was a 20-10 run there to the finish. But obviously the kids are disappointed. Everybody's disappointed, but that's a tough team. Illinois' got a lot of talent. They're a veteran team, Gary. You look down that lineup, they're grads and they're seniors, a couple of juniors. So, yeah, we'll get them again here in a couple of weeks, and I feel good about that game at home, the final game of the year.
Bobby, the Hawkeyes shot 62% in the first half and trailed by 1, and then just 35% in the second half. So credit Illinois. I think it has everything to do with their veteran leadership. Coleman Hawkins was terrific. Domask from the Southern Illinois transfer. I was thinking today on the drive down here, what must have Southern Illinois been like with Jones from Purdue and Domask from Illinois on that team a year ago? The Salukis had to be pretty doggone good, but they have key veterans really at every position, and they've got a good recruiting class sitting on the bench waiting to come in next year. But you're right. When they went, Brad Underwood had seen enough, and he talked about it in his postgame show. We weren't rebounding. He said we weren't playing aggressive Illinois basketball. And he wasn't afraid to go to the next 5 on the bench, and they performed. Iowa led by 2 when they came in. The Hawks still led by 2 when they went out about 4 minutes later.
Yeah, they did their job. I mean, that's what the reserves are supposed to do, is not let it go backwards, not let it go the other way. You got to either maintain it or advance that the lead right there. But you got to give them credit, and their fans gave them credit for the effort that they gave forth, and then the other guys came in there. But, the 2 guys that concerned me, I guess, Domask, the transfer you talked about from Southern Illinois, and then Terrence Shannon Jr., who has been on a tear, at 35 the other night, got to the free throw line 19 times against Penn State. Well, he didn't do that to Iowa. Iowa did a nice job of making it difficult for him, and he ends up, what was his number? Just 4 of 10, 2 of 7 from deep, just 3 rebounds, 12 points. So I thought they did a good job on those 2 players right there. They didn't hurt you. It was the others, and that's the mark of a good team. But Big Dane Danger, I figured he'd play a little bit in that game. He hasn't played a lot in the games before that. He's a big 6'9", battleship inside there. He got some rebounds. He had 8 rebounds to go along with 6 points. So, again, yeah, you'll see him here in a couple of weeks. We'll have a big crowd. We'll have a sold-out crowd for there on senior afternoon there on that Sunday game.
Yeah, the final game of the regular season before we head to the Target Center in Minneapolis. There were real strong performances by several Hawkeyes too, Bobby. We should mention that. The emergence, the polish of Josh Dix continues to shine his game. With more playing experience, Josh gets more confidence. He nailed a team-high 20 points, 9 of 15 shooting. It was his second 20-point effort of the year. But he's getting it done on the defensive end as well.
Yeah, he plays both ends, no doubt about it, Gary. And he can D you up. He's not afraid to get down the floor, get loose balls. I love that jump shot. I love his fall away mid-range game that Josh has. And as a sophomore, you can just see his confidence grow with each and every game. And he played 36 minutes. That's a team high. 36, almost 37 minutes Josh did. The kid doesn't get tired, and he's fearless. He takes on Terrence Shannon. He takes on the best player on the other team, and still has the strength and the ability to create his own offense at times when the Hawks need it. He's that nice third scorer that the Hawks need. And you got to look at Ben Cricky, too, what he did, 7 out of 9 from the floor, and playing against bigger guys out there, and Coleman Hawkins was checking him. So another good game offensively for Ben.
Tony Perkins, senior, put together another impressive stat line, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, a couple of steals. It was Perkins' team-high 24th game in double figures and his 15th outing of 15-plus points. He certainly has defenses figured out here, especially the second half of the season.
He's strong. Yeah, you can't stop Tony. When he puts his head down, he wants to get to his spots. He wants to get to the rim, wants to get to the free throw line area. He's unstoppable. He's going to be all Big Ten. He's playing like an all Big Ten first teamer right now. So I'm really happy for Tony and what he's done in the last month and a half, 2 months, if you will, probably all season long. But he's a combo guard. He's probably not a natural point guard, Gary, but he has the ability to swing and play both positions. And that's back to Josh Dix. That's what he takes some ball handling pressure off of Tony Perkins or off of Brock Harding as well. When he's in there, he can come in there and bring it up. So, yeah, no doubt.
Good to see Ben Krikke have another solid game coming off that great victory at Michigan State where he had 18 points, 14 rebounds. He had 7 of 9 shots, 15 points total. Peyton Sanford was running into double teams all afternoon long. They marked him. He did manage 12 points, 7 rebounds. A lot of guys contributed for the Hawks. Tough loss. They hung right in there in a hostile environment up until that 4-minute mark remaining, and now got to flush it, move on, as you know, and they're back home finally after a 10, 12-day trip out on the road to two very difficult venues in the Breslin Center and the State Farm Center. And now the second go-round, Bobby, with Penn State tomorrow night at Carver Hawkeye Arena. What particularly irritated you about that first game at the Bryce Jordan Center February 8th?
Well, I don't know if it irritated me is the right word, but just impressed with Ace Baldwin. What he's able to do. Hadn't seen him play. That's the first time I'd seen him play in person, but the ability to make long-range shots. Baldwin had, and they're all new team, Gary. I mean, we didn't know who some of those guys were. DeMarco
9
Dunn,
transfers.
Wahab, we saw it in Maryland. Zach Hicks, and Leo O'Boyle. All these guys are new, so impressed with their pressure. Had saw that against Illinois in that previous game. After we played them, but they stick full court pressure on you. They might play 3 different defenses in one possession. With that 3/4 court pressure, they get after you. They're always slapping, hacking down at the basketball. So you got to take care of it. You got to handle that pressure. You can't turn it over. And then with Ace Baldwin, lefty, you got to handle some. You got to manage those high ball screens, and you got to be communicating. You got to dig through it. And if you're going to switch, you got to be on the same page. So he's an impressive young guy. He transferred over from VCU with the coach, Mike Rhodes. And, it'd be a handful. He impressed me in that game over there at Happy Valley.
Yeah, the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year, Conference Player of the Year when he was at Virginia Commonwealth with Coach Rhodes. But to your point, they've had 9 transfers come in. One of those, Zach Hicks, who was at Temple a year ago, made 3 free throws with, second and a half left to go, and beat Illinois at the old Rec Center on the Penn State campus. We watched that game here last week, or the end of that game. So Penn State's been finding ways to win. But, and Bobby, you made a great point. Penn State leads the Big Ten in forced turnovers at 15.5 a game. So they are turning opponents over. But the Hawks have protected the home turf where Penn State is concerned. The Nittany Lions last won in Iowa City in 2017. They have 1 victory at Carver in the last 21 years. And so hopefully history repeats itself again tomorrow night. Hawks are shooting almost 48% from the field, but will have to contend with the Big Ten's best 3-point defense. Penn State is guarding to 30% from distance. So some obstacles to overcome, but keep in mind the winner tomorrow night has an upper hand in getting through to the first round Wednesday, and they still have a chance to get the double bye. It's a slim chance, but that's why you play the games.
Yeah, we've got 3 left, Gary. All winnable basketball games, and you got to have the right attitude. You got to go in there right from the get-go, and these are 2 teams with almost identical records, 8 and 9. Both the Hawks and Penn State are in the Big Ten, so a lot left to play for, and expect a great effort out of the guys tomorrow night.
Well, what do you Hawk fans think? We got a great crowd here tonight. You're welcome to come up and ask a question of Coach McCaffery or Bobby or I. If you're out listening on the Hawkeye Radio Network, feel free to send your social media questions or comments in on Twitter at Gary Dolphin or on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. That's at Gary Dolphin on Twitter, facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. We've got a handful of comments or questions already on the iPad. We'll get to those when Coach joins us here a little bit later on. But up next, we're going to hear from Brock Harding, Mr. Illinois basketball a year ago. He was, at this very moment, he was helping lead Moline to the state championship in Illinois, the state big school title. He and his buddy Owen Freeman. Brock's going to update us on his first year as an Iowa Hawkeye. That's coming up next. We're at the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing, a beautiful setting. The soon-to-be completely remodeled Hyatt Regency and Coralville's restaurant. Watch the show live each week. The Hyatt offers a special food menu as well as new cocktails and a $3 draft special. Make note of that. Come on down to the Hyatt Regency, Coralville in the Iowa River Landing. It is the happening area in the community. Join us for a great evening of Hawk Talk with Coach Fran McCaffrey. All right, we're back to the Hyatt and Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. Brock Harding is on deck next. This is Hawk Talk from Learfield.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Ground beef is only $2.99 a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And $2.99 a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for ground beef every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. While farmers work hard to grow the best crop, their Iowa corn checkoff investments are hard at work too. Opening local and global markets for corn and corn-fed products, educating drivers on unleaded 88 as the best fuel at the pump, finding new uses for corn, and sharing the farmer's story. Iowa corn farmers are backed by researchers, educators, market experts, and more. To keep corn growing Iowa.
Hey, it's your friend, social media. You know, where I showcase the cool life of sports stars and friends. But don't fall for the editing and good lighting, because we all have struggles and challenges, like with alcohol or drug use, gambling, or our mental health. Talking about it is a sign of strength. Maybe you don't know who to talk to. Your Life Iowa can give you resources or treatment options. Get free 24/7 confidential support. Call, text, or chat online at yourlifeiowa.org. A message from Iowa HHS.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk. We're at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville's Iowa River Landing. Iowa River is flowing by right outside our back door here. And speaking of having a good flow to him, Brock Harding is in his first year as a point guard. He's the point guard of the future of the Iowa Hawkeyes, and he's going to be a lot more than that. But he's had a terrific debut in his freshman season. And you know, Bobby and I were talking during the broadcast on Saturday that a year ago, almost to the day, you and Owen Freeman were leading Moline High School to a state championship over Bennett Academy out of the Chicagoland area. And you look comfortable out there on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. We had a really good 2 games up there last year, so it was fun to get back. The environment was great, too. Nothing like it was last year, so it was really fun to get back out there.
Your first year as an Iowa Hawkeye, how are you enjoying it?
It's been great. I mean, even more than what I imagined. Just the community, all the guys on the team, all the coaching staff. It's just been all the fans. It's just been a really great experience, a really fun first year, and I'm excited for the future.
And to be able to do it with your buddy, your teammate Owen Freeman, who's made such a splash, as you will going forward, but 9 times freshman of
insane. I know. It's just seems like they keep rolling
hard
in.
to do in the Big Ten,
For sure.
That's Caitlin Clark type numbers.
That's exactly.
What makes? I mean, you've played with him almost your entire life. What makes him so special?
I'd just say how he keeps growing and keeps evolving. I mean, just big guys continue. It's just. Their games kind of have to evolve with the game. It's kind of becoming a guards game. Bigs have kind of had to morph their games into being able to dribble, run the floor, and he's just grown with the game. I think every year he adds something new to his game, so it's just been really awesome to see his improvement and see how he's just really impacted the game as a freshman so far this year.
When did you guys start playing together in that AAU world?
I think 15U summer was our first time playing together.
So you guys were like freshmen? Or,
yeah, freshman year.
So you got a special connection there.
For sure,
between point guard and the big guys. It seems like, you just get there and you've got a quick little peek and throw it up to the rim.
Yeah, I mean, having somebody that can dunk at 15, it was kind of nice to be able to throw him alley-oops growing up. So, yeah.
What I love about Owen, and you too, I mean, and it'll only grow, it's just the way he approaches his attitude. You can tell he just loves the game.
For sure.
Pure. It's really pure.
For sure. Yeah. I think his mindset's gotten better and better as he's gotten older. Really fell in love with the game. So it's been really fun to see how much he's improved and how much he's going to continue to improve.
And we've all had to talk him off the ledge a couple times, all the foul issues he's had. He doesn't get. I asked him after the. He got too early. Oh, Michigan State. I said, well, what are the officials telling you you're doing? He goes, they're not telling me anything. They're not telling me anything. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, yes, you do. You'll learn. But in the Big Ten, it's quite an adjustment. What's been the most difficult part on and off campus about adjusting to a first year in college?
I'd say on the floor, just learning how to guard certain guys. I mean, you're playing some of the best point guards in the country every night, so really learning how to adjust on that end. The offensive side will come. I play with a bunch of great players every night, so that part's pretty easy as a point guard. And then off the court, a lot of free time, so just outside of practice and everything and workouts, kind of managing my time with classes, getting my work done on time, just kind of adjusting in that.
Brock, who's some of the point guards you played against? Kind of baptism by fire. Who's some of the top ones there? Comes to
this year?
This year.
I mean, Jameer Young, obviously, Tyson Walker, A.J. Hogard. I mean, those are some of the big
tomorrow, Ace.
Yep, Ace, Chucky, just all guys that have been in the league for a while. Ace was player of the year in his league last year, so just kind of taking stuff from their game as I'm watching and just kind of learning how they affect the game and trying to take parts from their game and see how I can put it into my game and kind of help our team out as well.
What I love about your game, though, Brock, is you're fearless. There's not a situation that you're afraid of, and whether it's free throws or driving at the end of a game, and you're going to try to make a play. And just talk about that attitude. Where'd that come from?
I think growing up, always kind of being a smaller guy on the floor, you kind of have to have some tenacity to you. You kind of have to not be scared of anybody. I kind of learned that from watching smaller guys play as I grew up and watching some of the NBA players that aren't as big. Just kind of you have to attack the game with a different mentality, know that you put more work in than the other people, and just kind of use that out on the floor.
Who were some of those guys you looked up to as a kid?
I'd say big one, Isaiah Thomas, not the old one, but the left-handed one.
Wait a minute, old. Double old.
Old for me.
That's Bobby's age you're talking about now, Brock.
Just one old. Yeah.
Thank you.
Isaiah Thomas, Chris Paul, Peyton Pritchard's one recently, played for Oregon, watching him just taking stuff from everybody's game and trying to put it into mine, take the things that they do, how they attack the game, and just kind of use that on the floor.
You ever heard of John Stockton?
I have heard of John Stockton. That was a little before my time, though. So,
Great player.
Holds the all-time assist record.
Yeah. He does.
And Bobby Hansen's teammate in Utah, right?
Really?
I got a few of them, yeah. And then he'd start looking at me and pass it over to Malone. Be like, come on, man, drop a pass every now and then.
I'll make it. I'll get you the assist.
Yeah, thank you.
If I got Karl Malone on one side and you on the other.
He used to call it Cadillac Volkswagen theory. Am I going to drive a Cadillac or a Volkswagen?
The old breasted-out pickup truck.
I said the Volkswagen will get you there, too.
It will, and a lot better gas mileage.
Yeah, there you go.
Brock Harding's averaging about 10.5 minutes a game, 78% from the free throw line, 68 assists to 20 turnovers, 24 steals for Brock. I know that's important to you. Take care of the basketball.
For sure. I think kind of as a freshman in this league, you can't really afford to have too many mistakes, and I think coaches have done a great job of kind of letting me play my game, but to a certain extent, because games mean a lot more here than they have previously in my career. So just kind of learning when to take certain things, when to attack certain players, and stuff like that. Just kind of not going too fast, just playing at my pace and taking what the defense gives me.
That's probably the area you've grown the most in, hasn't it? From when you got here in the summertime, you guys took the trip overseas. Talk about your growth.
One of the biggest things, Coach always says, can't make a home run pass every single time. So just kind of taking what the defense gives me, letting the game come to me. Coaches have been really good about that. I think strength's a big area I've been grown in so far, but still continuing to try to improve. I got to get stronger. I know that. Everybody knows that. But just kind of keep my game as consistent as possible. Being as consistent as possible on the floor every single night.
I see you working on your jumper, too, before the game a lot.
Always, yeah. I mean, just trying to, once you can shoot, you can always shoot. Just keeping it as consistent as possible. Then the defense has to respect that. It really opens everything else up.
You've been a good shooter in high school, right?
I was around 40% throughout my whole career. So just more opportunities to shoot threes will come with higher percentage, and I know that. So just kind of not being hesitant, taking when I get open shots and knocking them down.
You got to have patience at this level, as you know. When you watch Tony Perkins and how he developed, he was where you were 3-4 years ago. You look at him now, what comes to mind? What impresses you about Tony?
Just a killer. He goes out there every game, and he knows when to attack certain things. End of the game, we're giving him the ball, and he's making plays, as you can see. Against Wisconsin, he went to just learning things like that. As you get older in this league, you kind of have to have that in you. Boo Booey has that. You see him do that, and I get to see it every single day in practice with Tony Perkins. So you can't ask for much more as a freshman to be able to learn from a guy like that, one of the best guards in our league right now.
What I love about you with the basketball in your hands is, it's great if you can do a straight line drive to the basket, but you bob and weave, jab, step, back out. You'll weave from one post to the other, and you always find the open guy. It might take you maybe 3 or 4 more seconds to find him, but that's a real art.
Yeah, for sure. Some people might think I dribble too much, but I kind of know where guys are going to get open. They know to keep cutting off me. They know that I'll get them the ball. So it's been really fun to grow with this team. They know that I'll get them the ball. We have a bunch of great players that know how to score the ball, so it just makes it playing every single day that much more fun.
We're talking with Brock Harding for another minute or two. On Twitter, Xander checks in. He goes, "Hi, Brock. I'm a 7-year-old, and I play point guard like you. How did you learn to pass so amazing?"
I just think I've kind of always had that. I'd say a lot of film, kind of watching a lot of the older guys, watching people that played before me, just trying to take parts from their game, and I think it just kind of comes to you. You'll get better and better as you grow up. Just keep working, work at your game every single day, and it all will eventually come.
Well, you know what lies straight ahead. 3 games, regular season, all toughies. Tomorrow night, Penn State. You're only focused on them, I get. But the Big Ten tournament after that, it's a great time of the year. It can be a nerve-wracking time of the year.
For sure, yeah. I think this team's in a great space. Mentally, we know, obviously, with the past 3 games, what we're capable of, and I think that's been a really good thing to see and what you want to see. We're playing some of our best basketball as we get to the end of the season. That's where you want to be, and I think this team's excited for the opportunities we have in front of us. We're going to attack every game like it's a must-win, which they are must-win games, and we understand that. So I think the team's in a really good spot right now.
How about your studies? What are you looking to be? I know you're just a freshman, but plug us into your academics.
I was a business major my first semester, and I think I had a 3.16 GPA or whatever. And then my academic advisor told me that I would be done with math and English if I switched majors, so I ended up switching to sport and rec management because I think I kind of want to stay in sports my whole life anyway. So I thought that'd be a pretty good idea, and then I heard no math as well, so that jumped out to me a little bit. So yeah, now I'm a sport and rec management major, and just kind of growing with that.
And lots of time, yeah.
I always like to ask the kids, tell us about your family and your high school coach, your AAU coach, just real quick. They're probably listening. They want to hear their name.
Yeah, just a really close group of people. My family, we've done everything together. Really sports-driven family, but it's just really fun growing up with an older brother who's really good at sports as well. So you get to kind of.
He's a baseball player?
Yeah, he plays at Illinois.
Oh.
Yep. So just kind of being able to talk crap with him all the time and just kind of go back and forth. That kind of made me who I am with my competitiveness as well, losing to him growing up. Not anymore, obviously. And then parents, two of the greatest people I've ever met in my life, two great role models. I mean, just taught me how to attack life, how to enjoy life, and I couldn't ask for two better parents. High school coach couldn't have been a better situation for me. He kind of gave me the keys my freshman year and kind of just went with all the mistakes as an early freshman and ended up going out on top. And I mean, I have the utmost respect for him and love for that man. Sean Taylor, he's one of the best to ever do it in the state of Illinois. Gavin Sullivan gave me an opportunity as a freshman to play on a really good AAU team. Kind of gave me the keys there as well, and it worked out for us pretty well. We went undefeated our last summer in AAU, and we had 7 Division I players, I think, last year, not playing on a circuit. So just kind of a bunch of great people in my life. And then Jordan Delp, my trainer, who just got a job as the Augustana men's basketball coach, nice. Division III in the Quad Cities. So those people kind of really driven me to who I am today.
People will be friends your whole life.
Yep, for sure.
Great basketball in the Quad Cities. I'll throw 2 names at you. A.C. Earl.
Yep.
I know you've heard of A.C. Don Nelson.
I have heard of Don Nelson. Yeah.
Well, he's a little bit before your time. Hall of Fame player and a coach. I think he's got 7 rings.
Probably.
With the Celtics and when he coached Golden State. He's the
enough.
NBA's all-time winningest coach. So
that says a lot.
So go home tonight, since you're not worried about math or science anymore.
Okay.
Google Don Nelson.
Okay.
He's a Rock Island boy.
Okay. I might not do it.
Yeah. I like your sense of humor, too. All right, Brock, keep it going. Thanks so much for stopping by, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Great
Brock.
fun watching him play. Brock Harding, ladies and gentlemen. Hawkeye point guard. Tony Perkins will turn the keys over to him starting next year, and that's a good axiom. Keys to the car, the Hawkeye offense. Coach McCaffrey will join us next when we come back on Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency and Learfield.
Ground beef is only $2.99 a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And $2.99 a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for ground beef every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/corngrowsiowa.
Hey Iowans, Luka Garza here. For me to get to the NBA, I've worked on my speed, precision, and my shot. For you to get to the NBA, all you need is the Iowa Lottery. First, play bonus multiplier scratch tickets and you could win up to $100,000. Then, enter non-winning tickets for your chance to win a VIP suite experience with the Minnesota Timberwolves, including food, hotel, and $1,000 cash. Plus, center court seats to see the Iowa Wolves. Enter today and see rules at ialottery.com/VIP.
Hawk Talk with head basketball coach Fran McCaffrey. My goodness, the season is dwindling down. This is our, we got 3 shows left counting tonight, so make sure you come on out next week and the week after when we get set to head to Minneapolis in the Target Center and the Big Ten tournament. But much to be decided between now and then, starting tomorrow night with the Penn State Nittany Lions at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock for our pregame coverage here with Bobby and I on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Coach McCaffery joins us now. Bobby and I were hashing over the Illinois game, Coach, about a half an hour ago, and our thoughts on that final 4 minutes. What did you see? What did you like about the game? You guys really fought hard, and then came the last 4:50.
Yeah, we didn't defend like we needed to in that game. You know, we scored the ball, we pushed the ball, we moved the ball. You know, I don't think a lot of guys played up to their potential, but they fought and stayed in the game. Owen was a little under the weather, so he was not himself. I thought Logic came off the bench and gave us a big lift. Josh Dix was tremendous.
Really was.
I mean, he was tremendous. The rest of the guys were solid. You know, we were right there. We're right there with them. They got a lot of weapons. You know, probably have 2, maybe 3 legitimate all-league players on that team. Tough environment, but the guys fought and they hung in there.
An old Illinois team might be the most veteran team in the Big Ten.
I think it's the 4th in the country, something like that. Yeah, a lot of old dudes
and good dudes, good players. Bob?
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Corey. Fran, just talk about Josh Dix a little bit more. I mean, you've been in his corner since the day you started recruiting him and the injury, and you stuck with him, and he has really come into his own near the last month.
Yeah, what you're seeing is, you know, a complete skill set. You know, we kind of throw that out there. Truth is, most people don't have that. They just don't. He can play the point. He can play the off-guard position. He shoots threes. He's got a pull-up game. He makes good passes. He can really defend. And I think that's the one thing that I'm most impressed with. He's our lockdown defender. And he's 6'5", so he can play guys that are 5'11", 6'1", 6'2", or a guy that's 6'6", 6'7". And the really quick guys, you can't get by him. He's athletic, and he never rattles. He's smart and tough and gritty. He knows all the different positions. You know, we talk about that all the time. A lot of guys, they all say they can play more than one position, but they can't remember them. You know, and so they don't, because they really can't. He can. So we just move him around, and if anything, I would like to see him be even more vocal. But he's one of those guys that is very concentrated in his effort and intensity. He's always locked in. He never wavers from that. And really a great example for the young guys.
And Coach, on the defensive end, you mentioned it, but you always assign him kind of like the toughest guy.
Yeah.
And Shannon's coming off 35.
Coming off 35. Game. It was, you know, you look at Shannon, he got 35 the previous game, but he also got to the free throw line, shot 19 free throws. You know, if the other team's best player shoots 19 free throws, you're going to have a hard time winning. And he didn't get away. He didn't, you know, that's one of the keys of the game. Now, Shannon's he's a hard cover now.
Oh, yeah.
He's like a runaway freight train in transition, and he's so quick off the bounce, but he makes threes, so you can't just sag him. You got to be close enough to him to, you know, dissuade him from shooting threes, but then also contain him. And he's, you know, 6'7" and high flyer. I mean, he's a handful. And Josh did a great job on it.
We sat here a week ago on your show, and we watched the Illinois Penn State game when we could. 35 points. I think he had 11 or 12 rebounds in that game. If you'd have told me then that okay, we're going to go down there, we're going to hold him to 12 points, on 4 of 10 shooting and 3 rebounds, I'd have said Hawks win by 10.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing about that team. You know, any number of guys can score.
Yeah.
You know, Coleman Hawkins he's been around. He's going to be a pro.
He's hurt us before. I mean, he's a 3-point
He
shooter.
was really thinking about coming out. He stayed in. I think he stayed in and is helping himself this year. Very few guys 6'10" can stretch the floor, make threes, go off the bounce with a double cross and a spin. He can post up. He's a rebounder in traffic. I would be surprised if he doesn't go in the first round. At the very least, the second part of the first round, maybe sooner. I haven't really paid that close attention to, who's where, who's predicted to go where. They'll end up going where they go. But, Shannon is really special. The guy that nobody talks about is Ty Rodgers.
Good point. 6'6" point guard.
One of the best offensive rebounders in our game. They're bringing Dane Dania off the bench.
Yeah. How about that?
He had 17 and 9 against us last year, 6'10", 265. So they're bringing him off the bench. So our guys really fought hard and competed, and we get another shot on them next week.
I told Bobby earlier, Coach, before you got here, watching Domask and then Jones at Purdue, what would Southern Illinois look like this year with those two guys?
Well, that would have been obviously in that league 2 first-team all-conference players. They could be all-conference in our league. Domask. I've been watching him since he was a kid because he's played against Patrick on the AAU circuit. 6'6", 215. He goes with back-down game. But he is a gamer.
He is.
And
tough kid.
He plays the point as well. Like you said, Rodgers plays the point. They kind of go point guard by committee. Shannon will bring it. Coleman Hawkins will bring it. Then Luke Goody's 6'7". He comes in off. He's a 3-point shooter. Like they got Dane Dania. I mean, that team. When they walk out on the floor, they're really big. Everybody's at least 6'6" in the starting lineup. And they're all 23, 24 years old, every one of them.
I was thinking about this today. Really, the difference between them and Purdue is Zach Edey, but you could say that about every other team in the league too.
Yeah, and they match up pretty well because now Zach's got to go out. Who's he going to guard? Well, they typically put him on Ty Rodgers. He's to shoot threes. But Ty will drive on him, because, it'll be a tough cover. Coleman Hawkins will be a tough cover for Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And obviously Zach's a tough cover for anybody. But, they have to really figure, Matt's got to figure out who's he going to put him on. Because Matt plays man-to-man. He will not play zone. So Zach's got to guard somebody.
I thought your mixture of zone and man, for the most part, worked well.
It worked fairly well. But when we talked, in your initial question, that our defense wasn't what it should be. Our rotations in the zone were slower than they needed to be for a team with that many 3-point shooters. And that was disappointing. We got better as the game went on. We pointed it out. We got good kids, and they want to do it. But, when a lot of teams now, they're going to go ball screen against it, or they're going to overload it, or they're going to go 5 out. So if you're in a 2-3 zone and they're 5 out, the guy guarding the middle and the back, there's nobody there.
Yeah, somebody's open.
Even though you're in a zone, you're still guarding people.
Yeah.
Zones don't score. People do. So you've got to move. Like we said, the ball moves, you move. Okay, the man moves, you move. So you got to go up, you got to come back, you got to go over, go to the right, and we were just a little bit late on a couple of those rotations.
Coach, who's your most vocal defensive player?
Probably Patrick. He's, the most veteran guy we have, so he knows where he's supposed to be. He knows where you're supposed to be, and he's confident enough to tell you. We always say, like, if you're going to be talking on defense, you better know what you're talking about, because otherwise, don't say anything. We don't want to hear it. And you guys have heard me say this before. The best we ever had was Adam Woodbury. The best in 41 years of coaching, a guy telling everybody where to go. Connor was the same way, and it was also very vocal. I mean, I watched our tapes from last year. We get ready to play teams, And I can see Connor just orchestrating. And he was so good for Chris. He and Chris been buddies for years and played against each other, and they're good friends. And he would really talk to Chris during the course of the game. And there was times when, like, thinking about the Michigan State game last year, Chris kind of took the overtime over, just took it over, and that's because Connor, he was talking to him, like, let's, and throwing it to him. Throw it to him, throw it back in. Like, no, dude, we're coming to you. You're taking this thing over, and that is a veteran leadership quality that every winning team has. And so, we missed that from him, but Patrick is a guy that has stepped up. Peyton Sanford also very verbal. We talked about leadership and him kind of stepping into that role. A couple times this year he's called meetings, and everybody always thinks, they called a team meeting, it's panic time. It's not panic time, but it's time to get together and have conversation and hold each other accountable. You can hold each other accountable without making enemies. We have expectation for how to act and how to prepare and how to proceed and how to be professional, and we're not going to fall short of that. We're going to demand that from each other. And you can't call a team meeting if you're not doing things right and you're not on top of your game, not only in terms of execution, but most importantly, effort. And so, luckily, our guys are the guys that are leading. Of course, Tony, Patrick, and Peyton. They're effort guys, they're smart guys, and they're phenomenally well respected in the locker room.
Coach, what were you thinking? I know what I was thinking when they did the wholesale line change. The 5 new guys come in there. Brad had seen enough. And what was your thought process at that time?
We were up, I can't remember if we were up
6,
2 or 4.
Yeah.
Up 2. You're up 2.
I thought we should have, extended the lead. But a couple tough calls in that stretch. And a couple and ones that I didn't think were and ones. And we had a couple really good possessions that the ball didn't go in.
Yeah.
That happens. You're disappointed if you come down and you have, empty possessions, bad turnovers, live ball turnovers in and around the 10-second line usually mean points, especially with a team like that who's that athletic and that quick and that deep. You got to come down, you got to have a good possession, get a shot so you can get your defense back and get them set. They run good stuff. They've simplified it. Over the years, Brad has run more intricate stuff, but this is such a go off the bounce and a lot of really talented one-on-one players. A little more ball screen, a little more driving kick, and like we've said, they have multiple three-point shooters as well.
Kid Moretti hit 2 of them right in that stretch. He hadn't made one or taken one all year, was he?
He hasn't played much, but when he has played, he's played well.
Okay.
There's not a lot of room for him because of the depth and the veteran experience that they have. He's young, because they played the 2 other kids, Gibbs Longhorn and the other big fella. He's a 3rd-string center. He's 6'8" or 6'9", good player. Like, those guys are going to be good. But, if you're going into the portal, a lot of times those portal guys end up playing ahead of the freshmen.
Sure.
For sure. We're going to go to a break, Coach, but since we were talking about the Illinois game, Brent is checking in on Facebook. Fran, is it not traveling anymore when a player falls down with the ball? It's happened several times with our opponents this season, especially on Saturday. Drives me crazy. Good luck the rest of the year. Go Hawks. I know the one incident he's talking about in the lane at our end.
Hawkins, wasn't it?
I forget who
it was. Ty Rogers.
Yeah.
I think Brent is right. There's no consistency with which that call is made. And that's what's disappointing. I think that's what frustrates fans. It frustrates coaches. It's either a travel or it's not. Think about Owen Freeman's spin move on the baseline. Some refs call it, some refs don't.
And you get called.
And when it's a good move, it's the Worthy move, right? You know all about it's the Worthy move. James Worthy invented it. You can't guard it. But all of a sudden, no, he picked his 5th foot up. Like, are you sure? I had a conversation one time with Joey Crawford, who
Oh, yeah.
one of the best NBA officials ever. And I was just talking. He used to actually ref my games when I was in elementary school.
No way.
So he's a Philly guy.
Philadelphia guy?
Philly guy.
Joey. Of course he is.
He said, they always criticize us in the pros because they say we never call a travel. He said, let me ask you something. He goes, can you unequivocally tell exactly when the guy picked up his pivot foot before he dribbled the ball? Because it's impossible in real time.
Yeah.
So what we're told is don't guess. Don't blow your whistle and guess. Well, I think he traveled. I'm pretty sure he traveled. If he really traveled, if he takes 3 steps, okay, travel. But otherwise, let him play.
Let him play.
And the problem is it's not officiated consistently the same way. So I understand Brent's frustration.
Well, his point, mine was Saturday when it happened.
Yeah, happened right in front of us. It's because not only did he fall, he
both feet
slid across the ground. His feet were up in the air.
Yeah, that's. That's then. We're going to look ahead to Penn State with Coach when we come back on Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency here in the Iowa River Landing in Coralville. We're brought to you tonight by Bud Light. Hawk Talk is always sponsored by Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And as a proud sponsor of the Hawks basketball program, U.S. Cellular wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular, built for us. And we'll be right back to the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. Great hosts all season long for Hawk Talk. Thank you all for coming out tonight. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Ground beef is only $2.99 a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And $2.99 a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for ground beef every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Hawk Talk coming to you live tonight from the Hyatt Regency. We'll be here again next Monday night with Coach McCaffrey following the Lisa Bluter show. Please join us. The Hawkeyes played well, but fell short at Illinois on Saturday. Now here come the Penn State Nittany Lions. We were just talking about with Coach McCaffrey about Illinois' veteran leadership, 8 or 9 or half a dozen transfers, outstanding seniors. We talked Hawkins, we talked Shannon. Now here comes Penn State with 9 new faces, most of those transfers in Mike Rhodes' first year. You saw them 3 weeks ago, and it starts and ends with Ace Baldwin.
Yeah, you know, he was, I think, the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year.
He was.
So he, you know, that was, you know, you take over a new job, that's a good place to start. You know, when you bring 2 of your guys with you from VCU, who had a very good team. Mike did a great job there, terrific coach. So he brings those 2 guys with him, and he gets 2 transfers from North Carolina. He gets a transfer from Temple. He gets Wahab, who we know because he was at Maryland.
And Georgetown.
He was at Georgetown, then he went to Maryland, then he went back to Georgetown. Now he's at Penn State. Leo O'Boyle, he's a transfer from Lafayette. Raquandis Mitchell, we played against him 2 years ago. He was at Kansas City. Actually, you didn't see that. That was a close scrimmage. So he played against us. Really good player. Made 75 threes last year at KC. So it's a lot of new faces. You know, so it's difficult now when you take over a new job because the NCAA has declared every athlete a free agent. So all the guys that are on your team go into the portal and then decide if they want to stay. You have to try to recruit them, and you didn't recruit them, and you don't know them, and they don't know you. So a lot of them don't stay, and you got to put a team together. The good news is there's 1,200 names in the portal, so you can find 12 of them, you know. And I think the impressive thing to me is how Mike has gotten this group to play together and adopt his style. Now he recruited to that style. Obviously didn't work out with Cleary, who was there last year and was started the season playing really well. But you get 2 transfers from North Carolina. Puff Johnson was in a national championship game 2 years ago.
That's a great point.
And they've got a number of different guys that can score. You think about, last time we played him, Clary was hurt. He was just gotten hurt, and they put Brown in there, and I think he hit 4 threes. So the guy you put in makes more threes than the guy you took out. So, those kinds of things happen. But I think right now Kern and Zach Hicks have really stepped up their game with Clary's departure. They're getting more shots. They're more aggressive. They're more part of the offense. The ball is going to be in Ace's hands. I mean, he took the game over down the stretch up there when we lost to them because he's a handful. He gets to the rim. He can make threes. And
great free throw shooter.
Phenomenal as automatic, but he also is a great distributor, so he can break the defense down. And if you help up, he's dropping dimes. If you help off the wing, he's hitting shooters. Just has tremendous feel for the game.
Coach, as I look at the box score from the last game on February 8th, the Hawks won the battle in the paint there, 46-26. That's a pretty good number right there. And was that Ben Cricky or Owen Freeman, just all the above, or Tony getting into the paint?
Well, you look at yesterday's game, they lost, or Saturday's game, they lost. They beat Indiana, and Indiana made their first 3 with like a minute to go, and it was an 8-point game or so, and Indiana had 50 points in the paint. It's obviously Renew and Ware, but they got damage done in the paint. Couldn't make a 3. Last time we played Penn State, we turned it over 18 times. We fouled them 22 times, and it's really hard. It's really hard to win when you do that. We do those 2 things, and I think they made 12 threes. Is that?
Yeah, 12-23.
A lot of them.
I didn't look at them as a 3-point shooting team.
So you look at the fact that they made 8 more threes than us. That's a lot of points you have to make up. Now, Saturday we were right there with them as well. We made 4 and they made 10, 6 more threes. Now, we didn't make a ton of threes up at Michigan State when we beat them, but we only had 6 turnovers where we out-rebounded them. So if you go on the road and you do those two things, you have a shot. And of course you make 15 threes like we did against Nebraska, you're probably going to win. But I'd like to see us make more than 4, which is what we made the last time we played them.
Do you have a number that you throw up there?
I'd like to be around 10 at least.
10,
yeah. We need to shoot more. We only shot 15 up there. We probably need to shoot 25 anyway. But, we have, like you said, Bob, you just said it a minute ago, Tony's getting downhill. We've got Ben and Owen in the post. Patrick's driving the ball. DeSante Bowen drives the ball. Brock Harding drives the ball. We want to get more threes up. They're chasing Peyton around. Just mugging him.
That was my question.
Whoever was guarding him Saturday should have been arrested.
Yeah.
Because it was crazy. The way they guarded him Saturday, it was not basketball.
They're doubling him on the catch a lot and running into.
Well, they're face guarding him too. So the great thing about Peyton is he figures out and understands how to play. So if he's being face guarded, he becomes a screener. And it's essentially what happens is you're setting a double screen, so people are open. So the critical thing is the guys who have the ball have to be ready to deliver the ball when that screen is set. And you've got to cut to the basket, which he did a great job of up at Michigan State. He got a bunch of layups. Peyton did back cutting, and we were loading them up.
Did a good job screening too, Saturday, especially for Dix. And Ben Krikke hit 7 of 9 shots. He continues solid play, consistency.
Well, more importantly, Dolph, is his rebounding, because he was not rebounding, and we
had 5 on Saturday too.
We were, again, you say we're critical, but we were honest with him. Like, Ben, you're going to play the 4 spot. You've got to rebound the ball. You can't get 1 rebound like you did. Maryland game. Played 33 minutes, got 1 rebound. It makes it hard. Yeah. So again, I always say this. I'm never going to ask a guy to do what he can't do. You're better than that, and you're smarter than that. So just go take care of it. And he did.
The last
3 games. Well, he got 14 at Michigan State, and he had to do that because Owen was in heavy foul trouble. He missed almost the whole game.
For sure.
And so was Lodgy. So he was playing the 5 spot. So I'm really proud of Ben. He is a special young guy.
He really is.
Again, we talked about the portal and going into the portal and what are you adding? Do you really know the guy? Well, we were pretty sure that he had great character and
got it right.
He's been special. Yeah.
Let's pause 10 seconds here at the top of the hour. 10-second station identification break here. Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey coming to you live from the beautifully remodeled Hyatt Regency. Let's allow our stations to identify themselves. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. And back we come. Before we head to a break, let's take one more question here. Thank you all for hanging out here tonight with us on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. On Facebook, Fran, Jeff says, what were the major challenges for freshmen Owen Freeman and Brock Harding becoming Big Ten players? How well have they met the challenge in their first year? Thank you, and go Hawks.
Well, those 2 guys have been great. Not that anybody's surprised. They're both unbelievable winners. We've talked about it numerous times, but definitely on this show. They're state champions. Their AAU team won every tournament. So they're used to winning. They have an expectation of winning. The biggest challenge for any freshman is, how professional are they? So that means you're a freshman in college. Are you taking care of your business? You're taking care of yourself academically. Are you resting your body? Are you in the weight room? Are you getting skill development done? Are you studying the scouting report and preparing? And then you got to go out and perform under pressure, especially on the road. You were there. The environment Saturday was crazy.
Everywhere in the Big Ten.
So those guys are gamers. They're both smart. They're both tough. They're both skilled. And the important thing, and I've been impressed with both of them, is, they're not playing perfectly. But what they do is they learn from their mistakes, and then they get better. And they want to get better. And those guys are always in the gym. And You know, when you have guys on the team, we say this a lot. You know, like, anybody seen so-and-so? You know, where? No, Coach, he's in the practice gym. No, he's in the weight room. Like, that's, you know, we know where he is. But if you don't see him for 3 or 4 or 5 days, okay, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because they're not locked in. They're here for a reason. You know, you don't ever want to say, like, we don't want you to have fun. You're in college. You go to the football games. You know, hang out with your friends.
Sure.
Go out once in a while. But when that's the priority, then we got the wrong guy. And those guys end up on the bench, and they end up transferring.
There you go, Jeff, right from the horse's mouth.
Coach, you could probably say that about all 4 of your freshmen. A very professional approach.
Really.
Learning from their mistakes.
You know, it's one of the things, you know, it was a game changer, Bobby, and you were involved in it when I first got here. We, you know, thankfully had already improved the practice facility and the new weight room and the new locker room, because our facilities were so far behind. I mean, I couldn't believe the weight room I walked into when I got this job. The weight room at Siena and the weight room at UNCG were way better. And I think we're in the Big Ten, and this is where we're lifting. And there's one facility, Carver, you know, and then there's gymnastics, there's volleyball, there's wrestling,
golf. They all use
can the guys get some shots up anywhere? Now we not only have a practice facility, we have skill development coaches. We have a weight room that went from 1,300 square feet to 13,000. That was a game changer. So when you bring in motivated guys, if you don't have that to show them when they're being recruited during the recruiting process, they're not coming. You have to show them that, hey, we're committed from a facility standpoint, from a staffing standpoint. So not only do we have a skill development coach, we have a strength coach, we have a nutritionist. You know, just like we show them the Jardine Learning Center, like we have academic advisors, and we have a facility that's dedicated to that. So that enables you to get good players to come, and you know, when you're in the recruiting process, you can tell, okay, who's really serious about this stuff and who doesn't understand. So, you know, most of the time we get it right. Occasionally a guy will make it to campus on a visit, and we'll say, okay, this is not the right guy. And we actually put the trust in the players. So if they take them out, you know, so they'll be with us a lot, but then they'll go downtown for pizza, or they'll go somewhere. They'll be together in the dorm, or they'll go somewhere. And then they'll say, okay, all right, this guy is not who we thought he was. So they've said, hey, you know, send this guy home. That's happened 2 or 3 times. And luckily it's not more than that.
For sure.
Over you know, a 14-year period of time, because then you're really not targeting the right people.
Coach, is that practice facility 24/7? Just have the key card, they go in?
Yeah, it's handprint technology.
Yeah.
You come in and turn the lights on, and then handprint technology to open up where the balls are.
Yep.
And
24/7
you know,
game.
And we have the shooting guns that will rebound and kick it back to you. We also have an incredibly dedicated managerial staff. So like Patrick will call one of those guys, hey, meet me at, you know, the number of times I'm talking to Patrick at 10:30 on a Sunday night. Where are you going? I'm on my way over to the gym. We're going to shoot. You know.
That's what you like to hear.
Why not? Must be nice.
Colby's going to meet me, and we're going to shoot for an hour.
I like to hear.
Yeah.
And we'll come back with the U.S. Bank scoreboard and update a light Monday night schedule. Next, more from Coach McCaffrey, from Bobby Hansen, and you're right off and here at the Hyatt Regency in Iowa River Landing in Coralville. Back next with more Hawk Talk from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Nestled on the rolling greens of the iconic Finkbine Golf Course, Bump's Restaurant is open to the public year-round. Whether you're swinging by after a round of golf or just in the neighborhood, Bump's is your go-to spot for scrumptious sandwiches, shareable appetizers, and mouth-watering pizzas. Quench your thirst with our selection of local craft beers. Or let our full bar serve you a refreshing cocktail to toast to your game. Or just because it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Our happy hour from 2 to 6 p.m. is the perfect 19th hole. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to catch catch our latest daily specials. And here's a little insider secret just for our radio listeners. Thursdays are not to be missed at Bumps Restaurant. It's BOGO Happy Hour. Buy one, get one free on select beverages from our happy hour menu. Whether you're a diehard golfer or just love a great meal with a view, Bumps Restaurant at Finkbine Golf Course is your destination. We're currently open Wednesday through Saturday. Swing on by today. Bumps at Finkbine Golf Course. Great food, great drinks, and the best views in town. See you at Bumps.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. While farmers work hard to grow the best crop, their Iowa corn checkoff investments are hard at work too. Opening local and global markets for corn and corn-fed products, educating drivers on unleaded 88 as the best fuel at the pump, finding new uses for corn, and sharing the farmer's story. Iowa corn farmers are backed by researchers, educators, market experts, and more to keep corn growing Iowa.
I'm Ingrid Lizarraga, breast surgeon at the University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, the state's only NCI-designated cancer center. Here, we look beyond just the type of cancer you have to discover the molecular details of the disease. We have teams dedicated to each cancer type, with treatments and trials you won't find anywhere else in Iowa. Go to uihc.org/cancer.
Hawkeyes and Penn State tomorrow night here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Bobby and I will greet you along the Hawkeye Radio Network at 7 o'clock, courtesy of the Iowa Soybean Growers Association. Tip-off at 8 o'clock. We haven't had a ton of 8 o'clock tip-offs, but the weather's going to be nice tomorrow. Why don't you pile the family in the car and come on in and watch Big Ten basketball with the Hawkeyes and Penn State tipping off at 8 o'clock. There are just a couple games on the docket tonight among ranked teams. Ninth-ranked North Carolina had a 16-point lead on Jim Larrañaga, Coach Larrañaga, and Miami, but that has tightened up. It's 73-71. Carolina, they're shooting free throws. Carolina is with just 3.7 seconds to go, and Carolina trying to hold on at Chapel Hill. I see Larry Brown and Roy Williams in the crowd tonight. I'll bet Fran's got a couple good stories on those two. We'll check during our next break. 15th ranked Baylor is at TCU. That tip-off is a later start. That's the Big 12 Monday night game tipping off here shortly. That's our U.S. Bank scoreboard update, courtesy of our friends at U.S. Bank. You know, attention, you Hawk fans who buy your own health insurance. Wellmark is on your side and on the health insurance marketplace. Let's give it up for plans you can afford. Check out wellmark.com/hoops to compare plans. We'll go back to Twitter and Facebook for Coach McCaffrey from the Hyatt Regency next on Hawk Talk from Learfield.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, Our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/corngrowsiowa.
Ground beef is only $2.99 a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And $2.99 a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for ground beef every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Well, North Carolina held on for the victory on Big Monday. Now Baylor and TCU are playing down in Dallas. 8-6 TCU with the early lead on the Baylor Bears here on the U.S. Bank scoreboard. We're back with more Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. We'll be here again next Monday night. Tonight's winner of our Authentic Brand merchandise pack is young 7-year-old Xander, who told Brock Harding that he's a point guard. And he wanted to know where Brock learned his magicianry type passing ability, and Brock gave a great answer. So thanks, Xander, for the question, and thanks to Authentic Brand for the Hawkeye Gear prize pack. Authentic Brand is a proud partner, not only outfitting our broadcast team tonight and throughout the season, but outfitting thousands of fans on game day. Gear up for game day and every day, and officially licensed Hawkeye apparel and accessories from Authentic. Back to Facebook for Coach McCaffrey. Doug says, Fran, I love your style of coaching. Thanks for being Iowa's coach and doing it the right way. Well, thank you, Doug. Kelvin wants to know, Coach, is Owen Freeman kind of like Christian Laettner, at the same age?
I think that's a fair comparison. Mm-hmm. Christian was a guy who can stretch the floor, which I think is coming. I mean, I was watching. I mean, you see Owen with his free throw and his face-up jumper. He's got really good form, and Coach Spiro has been working with him, and he's got great touch, and he's got great follow-through. His elbows under the ball. So I think eventually we'll have Owen shooting threes, but athletically they're similar. They can dribble the ball length of the floor and make plays off the bounce. They're both bouncy. You know, Owen might even be a little bouncier than Christian was, but they both have a level of mental toughness. You know, just remembering Christian Laettner when he was playing, he was a guy that he had some toughness about him.
Sure did.
And so does O.
Bobby, was he after you? He was a little bit after you.
Yeah, I think he came in 92. I left in 92, but I just remember that. It was in Philadelphia, wasn't it, Fran? Or that pass?
The long pass against Kentucky.
Yeah, the double move.
Yeah, but he was on Dream Team 1.
That's right.
They decided to keep,
as a youngster,
keep one college kid, and he was the one.
He should write a book on that.
What an experience! Yeah. What an experience!
Yeah, crew.
Thanks for the question, Kelvin. Real good question. Ken, who among the Hawkeyes coach is eligible for a fifth year next season, and what do you expect the roster to look like next season?
Well, Patrick and Tony both have a COVID year. Other than that, they're the only two. So what's the roster going to look like?
Young team.
I mean, we have a young team. We've got a lot of guys back, and pretty excited about the future.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hey, throughout the Iowa Corn Cyhawk series, Iowa Corn promotes values that are uniquely Iowan. And on behalf of our corn farmers, they'll be out in the field doing the planting here shortly. We salute all athletes for their hard work and determination, both on and off the field. Just like our athletes, our state leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. Follow Iowa Corn on Facebook to learn how corn grows Iowa. Thank you, Iowa corn farmers, and the Iowa Corn Cyhawk series. We'll take our final break, come back, and wrap up this week's show in just a minute from the Hyatt Regency on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
I'm Ingrid Lizarraga, breast surgeon at the University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, the state's only NCI-designated cancer center. Here, we look beyond just the type of cancer you have to discover the molecular details of the disease. We have teams dedicated to each cancer type, with treatments and trials you won't find anywhere else in Iowa. Go to uihc.org/cancer.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Ground beef is only $2.99 a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And $2.99 a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for ground beef every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oaknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Thanks for joining us tonight on Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency. Got about 5 minutes left in the show. Bobby Hansen has a comment and or a question for Coach McCaffrey about the end of the first half. Bobby, I'd forgotten about that. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, at Rotary, somebody brought it up today, and I said I'll ask Coach when we get together here this evening. But the pass, the play, number one. And we're down, 3, I think it was?
Yeah.
And pinpoint pass by Patrick, like Mahomes, and they jumped early or whatever, but it fell right into the hands. And it was a tough shot by Peyton when I watched it.
It was not an easy shot that Peyton made. And of course, in those situations, the key to it all is the pass. And Patrick's taking great pride in that because it was always Connor's job. We remember the one at Rutgers, and he threw a bunch to Keegan. Of course, throwing it to Keegan was always a little easier. He threw one to Chris last year, and Chris made an amazing 3. You got to give them a chance to go get it. They don't want to foul you. And the tricky thing now is the Jumbotron. So you got to be able to throw it high enough, but not too high to hit the Jumbotron, because then you get the ball. So the guys executed the play to perfection. And
gave us some momentum.
Gave us some momentum going into halftime, and then we were able to take the lead in the second half. So,
nice pass,
Patrick's good at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still love the one he had at Indiana, cross court from in front of the Iowa bench. Couldn't move. Of course, he couldn't move Saturday either, but he had much less ground square footage.
Well, you know how little there is.
Oh, it's terrible.
I'm amazed at how close the table is to the sideline. There's like 3 inches.
If you're wearing a size 15, how do you keep the toe out of bounds?
Well, that's the thing. You think about it. Boy, it would have been nice if that was a 3.
Sure,
but if Peyton goes any further, he's out of bounds. You know, he's got size 13 or 14, and the 3-point line in the corner, there's only about a foot and a half left.
Right.
So you got to be careful. You don't, because you see a lot of calls now where guys get the ball in the corner, and they make a move, and next thing you know, they're stepping backwards out of bounds.
Yeah, and they call it, as well they should.
Yeah.
Coach, earlier we were talking about the transfer portal. 9 new guys at Penn State with the first-year coach Rhodes, but Illinois with all that veteran. To you, what's an ideal situation year to year if you're thinking, okay, I'm going to bring in a couple transfer portal? What's the number for you?
You know, I think 2. I would like to think I have enough coming back, but sometimes, you lose guys maybe you didn't think you were going to lose. We've been pretty lucky that way. We've lost a couple guys, but hasn't been mass exodus. So you replace what you need. You don't just stockpile, because if you do that, you're going to have an unhappy group. For example, we got Ben this year, and we got Evan. All right, so let's say we go get one more. That creates a real logjam. So maybe now you have 4 guys that are upset. It's been hard enough for me to find playing time for the guys that I want to play more. Like, I want to play Brock more. I want to play DeSante Bowen more. I want to play Evan Braun more. I want to play Lodgy more. But, I got Owen and Ben and Patrick and Peyton. I want to play Price more. And he has been playing more. But
he's coming on.
That's how those guys develop. The more playing time you give them as young players, and so that's my goal. But if you just you bring in 12, 13 guys and they all expect to play, you're going to have 5 guys that are not happy with you.
Time management.
They're not happy with each other, and it just creates a bad environment.
They're not happy with the head coach.
Yeah.
I got about a minute left. I wanted to get this in. Filipowski gets hurt over the weekend with the court storming, and we've talked about this before with Caitlin getting knocked over at Ohio State. And I love your answer. I'm going to put the students down closer to the floor. What do you think's going to happen?
They're going to run on the floor. Yeah, I think what you have to. I think there's a way to do it.
You think there is an answer?
I think yeah. My first answer is do away with court storms and do away with handshake lines. That eliminates any issues, because there's always a fight. I mean, every time you pick up your phone, somebody got into a fight during a handshake line. We're supposed to be hugging it up and showing sportsmanship, and somebody's throwing a haymaker.
Well, we had a fist fight last week.
Every week there's one. So do away with that, and then you eliminate any problems. But I do think if you can let the clock go to 0, you can get the teams off the floor in 30 seconds. And if they want to run on the floor, then fine. But you got to rope it off, and you can't just let them run 100 miles an hour. So then all of a sudden, Kyle's trying to get to the locker room, and there's 150 people within 4 feet of him going 100 miles an hour. Where are they running to?
Into a player.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they'll get it figured out.
Good answer. Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Bobby?
Appreciate it, Doc.
Thank you.
Yeah, my answer is you got to protect the players.
You do.
You got to protect staff and the coaches. They got to do a better job.
And the broadcasters. All right, we'll talk tomorrow night at 7 o'clock pregame, 8 o'clock tip-off, the Hawks at Penn State. Good night, everybody.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, live from the Hyatt Regency, this has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey, brought to you by Authentic Brand, the premium label of choice. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. By your local Ford dealers. Hy-Vee, score big savings with the new Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular, built for the Hawkeyes. Built for silencing notifications and turning up the noise. U.S. Cellular, built for us. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.